What's up, everybody? Before I get into the review, I do want to take a quick look back at the American history pops that Funko has done thus far. And I'm saying taking a look back, even though these are pretty recent, and these are a part of actually the Icons line from Funko, but they do say American history on the boxes. I'm still kind of surprised at the number of these that are Target exclusives. It's actually the majority thus far, but maybe that was intended to sort of boost interest in the figures. But you see here the Target exclusives, of course, do include Abraham Lincoln, Rosie the Riveter, and Uncle Sam. I still feel like Uncle Sam is my favorite overall just because he's such an eye-catching, well-sculpted figure. And then, of course, we also have the commons here of George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. I actually got the Target exclusives, these three Target exclusives first, and then I got the commons afterwards. But I already knew that I was going to get all of these together because I think, again, that they're very good-looking figures, and I think they're smart choices by Funko as well. The painting that you see here is one of the paintings representing Washington crossing the Delaware. There actually is more than one, but I think this is the most famous one, the one that really comes to people's mind when they think about that historic event. So Funko did take inspiration from this to create a historical moment. And I'll say that, I ordered this online from Target, and as soon as I took it out of the shipping box, I was hugely impressed. I mean, it just looks amazing up close. It really is one of those items that you just got to see with your own eyes. I don't think pictures really do it justice. Now, I do have to say again, and I know some of you may have heard me say this before, as far as the back of the boxes go for these American history pops, and even, just icons in general, I feel like Funko is missing the opportunity just to give a little bit of information and a little context to the actual figures and the actual moments. Now, I'm not saying that they have to put a textbook on the back of the box, but like I said, just a little bit of information, especially for people that don't know exactly what the figure is all about. So yeah, just a little bit of information I think would be appreciated. I'm also kind of surprised that Funko didn't even bother to put the other American history pops on the back of this moment. So again, that's something else that surprised me there. The box for this historical moment actually does have a background to it, which I always appreciate when Funko does that because, it does make the figures look more interesting when they are displayed in the box. Even though I appreciate the effort, I really don't feel like it's completely necessary for this one, though, because this moment I think you would want to display out of the box. It does not do it justice just to keep it inside of the box. It still looks cool that way, but I think you really would want to get this out to be able to see the details. And let's go ahead and check out the details here because, again, like I said, this is very impressive. Right away, you can see, of course, with the water up under the boat there, that they do have like the ice represented, like chunks of ice there. You can see ripples in the water, especially where the paddle is in the water there. All the figures inside of the boat look really awesome. The heads can turn on Washington and the man that is rowing the boat. As far as the guy that's holding the flag, his head can't move, and I understand why, because of the way that he is positioned near the flag, so that makes sense there. As far as the base is concerned, I do want to point out as well, it's a pretty solid base. It may look like it's kind of thin, or maybe like thin material and kind of hollow, but no, it's pretty solid as a base, so it will not move around easily. And yeah, I think that it looks really on point. The colors stand out. Washington has nice details to him. This is one of those items as well that when you take a look at it from different angles, like if you look at it from the back here, again, still nice details to it. You still see the chunks of ice in the water. The flag has some nice movement to it, a nice flow to it. It really looks like it's, kind of blowing in the wind there. The powdered wig that Washington is wearing, or, the hair sculpt basically, which I'm not sure 100% if that's meant to represent his real hair or wig. I'm assuming a wig the way that it looks. And from seeing those powdered wigs and a lot of old photos, I think that's what it's meant to represent. But regardless, the hair sculpts are really nicely done. The hats look cool, all of that. It just all works together. And if you take a closer look as well, you can see how many details were pulled from that painting. And I do know that that painting, of course, is a very glorified image of this historical moment. It is a real moment that happened, but of course, to really represent him as a hero, it's a very glorified image. Of course, we wouldn't want an image necessarily of Washington like huddled down in the boat trying to stay warm, so I understand, having him standing up like that. But yeah, again, nice details to it, like the sword on his hip and everything. It looks really cool. So I think Funko did a great job with this. And I definitely want to hear from you all. If you have seen this up close, what do you think about it? Do you plan on adding it to your collection, or is it not for you? Whatever it may be, definitely let me know what you think about that. And I want to hear your thoughts about the American History Pops in general. And I already know that some people definitely want Funko to kind of spread this out and focus on basically world history. We'll see what happens, what Funko intends to do there. We'll just have to basically wait and see what's going to happen with this line. And I don't know, because of some of the backlash that they got for doing pops based on Washington, maybe that's already kind of soured them on doing these. We'll have to wait and see. I do think it's very unfair that some of the people that criticize Funko for doing pops based on Washington don't even know much of the history about him. If you actually go and do some research, I think it would probably change your views about him, as an individual. And I definitely got to say as well that nobody is perfect. Not a single person is perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody listening to me right now is perfect. Nobody in history is perfect. There are always negative things that can come about. But I think it's, with the American History line and the Icons line in general, it gives Funko the opportunity to really focus on the positives that people have done in history. And that's what I like about this line and the potential of this line. And of course, I do have a couple of ideas. I'm not going to run through all of my ideas because I actually did a video previously about historical figures that I would like to see. I didn't really focus on moments per se, but there are some moments that do come to mind. I feel like the moon landing just makes so much sense. And even conspiracy theorists can probably get on board with that, that it still would be a cool moment regardless of what you think about it. So yeah, like I said, we have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. And, like I said, check out that video. I'll try to remember to link it in the description if you have not seen it, with some of my ideas, some things that I would like to see, if Funko continues on with American History Pops and just history pops in general. And I definitely want to hear your ideas as well. I will say this, just like I believe I said in that other video, that, I think we should be realistic about it. Funko has already gotten backlash about Washington. I don't think they're going to do anything that's too controversial, too negative. And I've already heard some very crude jokes from people referencing the way that certain historical figures died. Not cool at all. Again, we're all human beings, and I just think it crosses the line when you start joking about the death of somebody. I don't care how long ago it happened. That's just very unnecessary. So being realistic about what Funko might do as a company, I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to checking those comments out. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you drop a like on it. That is always appreciated. I do plan on doing some more reviews in the near future here. This is the first one I've done really as a standalone review for a Funko item, but I felt like this was worthy of putting that attention on it because, again, I think they did a great job with Washington crossing the Delaware. I think it's an item that history buffs, might want to have in their collection. Even educators that teach history, might want to have it in their classroom, so I think it's a very cool item, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts about it. And like I said, also your ideas about historical figures. But yeah, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all for checking it out, and I will talk to you all again real soon.